Hi guys, Scott Woodward here to preview the North Queensland Cowboys 2013 team, and what an amazing list we have got. If you're a Cowboys fan, you've got plenty to look forward to. Firstly, just have a quick look at last year. The coach Neil Henry, who has actually got a 41% win record as a coach, got it up to 62% last year with 26 games, winning 16 and losing 10. They finished 5th, 7th the previous year, and 15 the year before that. You can see they're getting better, and they had absolutely no luck with injuries last year whatsoever. You can only think that with a little bit of luck with injuries, and with their big inclusion in the crucial role of halfback this year that we're going to talk about in a second, you think that the Cowboys can go all the way. I certainly think they'll be going all the way. They'll be very much a part of my staking plans. Let me tell you why. We'll go through the teams player by player, and providing they get a little bit of luck and the coach makes the right decisions. The right decisions, I mean, pick the best 13, pick the best 17, and not pick some of these favourites that have let him down in the past, I have to say. But I guess on some games he didn't have a lot of choice with injuries. Matt Bowen clearly picked himself. He was stiff not to be in the State of Origin last year, got knocked out by Inglis. No shame in that, but his form certainly warranted playing State of Origin last year. His combination with Jonathan Thurston has yielded 50 try assists. I think that's unheard of with a fullback and a 5'8" combining to have 50 try assists. Quite an amazing combination. They just know each other's games intimately, and they're just amazing to watch together. If both those guys stay fit for the year, we know the Cowboys will be going very well, certain to play semi-final football. And with a little bit more luck with some of the players that we're going to talk about now, they can go all the way. The wing spots are pretty straightforward. Certainly Ash Graham, always one of the leading try scorers, will be on the right side. He continues to surprise me. I honestly didn't think he was that good, but he's obviously a good trainer, very professional, doesn't make many mistakes now. A little bit suspect, if I have to say, getting back in position to take a bomb, but a very good finisher, and they know that he's there. He gets the ball and he does the right thing, gets it over the line with a pass or takes the bomb. On the left-hand side, there's a few contenders there. We have Fia Loa will be one of them. He would be my first pick. I think he's a good winger. Young Kyle Felt would be another one, and Witherspoon would be another guy who'll come in contention. So they've got some good depth in the wing positions, the Cowboys. Centres are pretty straightforward. Kane Lynette had a breakout year last year. He went sensational. Just kept making line break after line break and tackle bust after tackle bust. He looks very, very good, Kane Lynette, and really loves it up there with the Cowboys. Brent Tate, super player, will probably get selected in the State of Origin again. He certainly should be on form. He's just been enormous. Every time he's in a rep team, he just goes enormous. Wonderful talker, very strong in defence, and with Lynette and Tate, the Cowboys have got a very good centre combination. Not many teams can boast that type of centre combination. If there's a problem with one of those two guys, one of the big ins for the Cowboys, Curtis Rona, a very promising young centre that the guys picked up from the Roosters, and I think looking forward to seeing him play, but he'll be struggling to get a Guernsey if Lynette and Tate are playing all season. Maybe if Tate is not playing State of Origin, I think the coach may go for him in place of, say, a Witherspoon. Hard to say. As far as the six is concerned, we know about Jonathan Thurston. He's the best player in the world and has been since Andrew Johns retired. Never ceases to amaze me what an incredible player he is. He's an all-time great as far as I'm concerned, and he is the difference if the Cowboys can win the grand final or if they can't win the grand final. He's just an amazing talent. I just love watching him play, whether I'm on the team or haven't been involved. I just love watching him go around. We've seen in the last couple of years he's been trying to put a combination together with Michael Morgan and also Ray Thompson. Both those guys have had a crack at halfback, while Jonathan has gone second receiver, and they've both gone okay, particularly Ray Thompson. I thought both guys made good inroads in that position, and given you have such a strong player as Thurston as your other half, it probably is not a requirement for you to be such a superstar, but both guys did quite well. The big plus that the Cowboys have got now, and the smoking gun if you like, is Robert Louis. He's come up from the West Tigers. He didn't play last year because of personal problems, and he's had a lot of personal problems, let me say. Now, if the guys have got his head right, and he's going to be a good boy for the season, he's still very, very young, and he's got God-given talent, and given the experience that he's had already in first grade that he got when he was a Tiger, you can only think that we're going to see an exciting young player in Robert Louis. What a privilege for a young kid like Louis to be playing alongside of Jonathan Thurston, and he'll cover that right side of the field while Thurston will cover the left and move all over the park. And he's got similar skills to Thurston. He's got a good dummy. He's surprisingly fast off the mark when he doesn't look like he's going to be fast, and he's actually a very strong guy, can bust tackles, and has got quite a good kicking game. If he goes to the next level, Robert Louis, he could be anything, and really exciting. He's got more skills than Mike Morgan and Ray Thompson, and that's a big in for the Cowboys. So they're very well placed in the halfback position. But for me, Robert Louis is one of the reasons why I've jumped on board the Cowboys this year. Look, they've got the two best prop forwards in the world in James Tamu and Matthew Scott. Fancy having both those guys in your one team. It's just amazing, and it's no surprise that the Cowboys have enormous go forward in every game they play in. They don't have any trouble going up the middle of the field. They'll get a lot of support also from the bench, and we'll talk about some of those bench guys in a second. But Tamo and Scott are the two props. I'm not quite sure who'll be the starting hooker. They've had some retirements, and there's an opportunity for some guys to impress. Ray Thompson certainly will be one of those. He's had some experience at 9. I don't know whether Michael Morgan would be considered. Scott Moore, the Pommy, who they've got from Huddersfield, he's a real talent, and I'm sure he'll be either off the bench or he may be able to impress enough in the trials and get a starting position. Anthony Mitchell did very well when he came up from the Roosters last year, and one of the young guns, one of the local props that the Cowboys have got, a guy called Alex Ilasala, a very promising young hooker. So they're very well placed in the 7 and the 9 position in terms of depth. The Cowboys, they've certainly only got one person, and they cannot replace him. Let's talk about the back rowers, because it's a contentious spot for me, and it's a spot that I've disagreed heavily with the coach in previous years. He's put a lot of reliance on players like Johnson, Hall, Aston Sims, Bolton, Cooper and Thorby. And while I'm a big fan of Johnson and his defence, he's way past his best, and he just is incapable of making a break, and he tends to hog the ball a lot and wants to take the ball up, and he just dies with the ball. He hasn't got the skills. Hall, Sims and Bolton, Cooper and Thorby, they're just journeymen, and they're the type of guys that all clubs have got. You have to have guys like that, but I'd be limiting starting with guys like that. Have them coming off the bench, fine, but we saw a lot of game time starting from those guys last year, and that was one of the problems with the Cowboys, particularly late in both halves when they struggled in defence. There's no question that Tariq Sims and Jason Taumalolo are the two best back rowers in the club. Whether or not the coach will start with them because they're both young. In Sims's case, he's coming back from injury. I don't know, but there's no question that they are standout best back rowers. I would love to see them start if they're capable of starting. I think both guys are capable of playing long minutes, and I think they're wasted coming off the bench, despite the fact they'll make an impact. There's no doubt about that. Taumalolo could be anything. We just don't know how good he is, and I would be surprised if Sims isn't in contention for New South Wales berth, even if it's off the bench. I would think Dallas Johnson will hold down the lock position because he is a workaholic, and they need somebody there to put in the tackles and put in the minutes and just the call. And if you're playing with Dallas Johnson, it does give you a feel of comfort. He's one of those guys that you like to get in the trenches with. I'm sure Glenn Hall is a coach favourite. He'll get plenty of time. Aston Sims will get plenty of time from the coach as well, but I've already talked about them. The Cowboys have got some real talent in young Chris Grebs-Mill from the under-20s. Blake Leary, Rory Cross-Jason isn't in from the Storm. He can come off the bench and play a number of positions. Joel Reth-Muller, we've seen a bit of, hasn't set the world on fire. I think Sam Hall will be in contention at some stage. Felice Kafusi, very promising kid, and we've seen plenty of his brother. I think he'll be in contention at some stage. We've talked about Gavin Cooper and we've talked about Rick Forby. So look, it's not a bad bench, but the starting guys, we're talking about Tomalolo, Sims, Matthew Scott and James Tarmo. It just doesn't get any better than that. That is as good as any team you'd ever want to see from forwards in any rep team. That's as good as any Australian team. It's just an amazing forward pack. And we're talking about this amazing forward pack, and we're talking about a back line that includes Jonathan Thurston and Matthew Bowen, and you can see why I'm very excited, why I think the North Queensland Cowboys can go all the way. What more can I tell you? I think they've got quite a good draw. They're going to play 7 games on a Saturday over the period, and they've got 5 Friday night games. That's a nice draw for the Cowboys. I don't think anyone will look forward to going up there in the humid conditions, and they're lucky that they meet the Storm, I think, round 2, after the Storm have just come back from freezing cold conditions in the UK. And that's nice to be able to get such a good team like that when they can't possibly be at their best. They'll struggle from the trip back, and they'll struggle in the changing climate conditions, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a weakened Storm team. So that should be, if it's such a thing as an easy 2 points against the Storm, that should be a pick-up game for the Cowboys, one would think. Look, I think the Cowboys possibly could lose 5 or 6 players to Origin, and that's clearly going to be a big problem for them, how they back up after Origin. But providing Thurston comes back from Origin okay, and they're not too far off the mark, I think you see that the Cowboys can go to the line pretty good. My concern with them is they haven't been starting years well, and they haven't been starting games very well. The first 20 minutes is a big worry, but they certainly go to the line good in the second half. If the coach can get them to play a full 80 minutes flat out, they're certainly going to be the team to beat in this competition, and I struggle to find too many weaknesses with them. Two great centres, a great 6 or 7 combination that I've already talked about, and then we're talking about Matt Bowen. Interesting to see who's going to be the 9, but they've certainly got a lot of talent to choose from there on the 9 position. If I have got a criticism from them, there's nobody that is on the bench that I would say, oh wow, assuming that Sims and Tamalolo will start. So I think what you'll find will happen is the coach will start probably Hall or someone like that, and either Tarek Sims or Tamalolo will come off the bench. But yeah, that's his call. I think he's got it wrong in previous years. I'd like to think he put a little bit of faith in these incredible young talented kids, and we'll see a very exciting Cowboys team, and I think they can go all the way in 2013. If you're a Cowboys fan, good luck to you. I think you're in for a very, very exciting season. Cheers.